What happens when millions of humans concentrate in places geography designed for catastrophe? When concrete jungles rise on fault lines, floodplains, volcanic slopes. When poverty, violence, and environmental collapse converge in metropolises that kill thousands annually, not through accident, but through design. You're about to witness 20 of the deadliest urban areas on Earth. Cities where murder rates exceed 100 per 100,000 residents. Where air pollution kills 12,000 people yearly. Where the ground sinks 40 centimeters annually and buildings collapse into subsidence voids. Where earthquakes, floods, heat waves, and human violence create mortality rates that rival war zones. If you're fascinated by humanity's most dangerous settlements, subscribe to Obscura Trails and hit the bell. Because we document the urban environments where survival is never guaranteed and death arrives through geography, climate, or human hands. This is urban catastrophe, where millions live knowing the city itself, not just crime or disease, is actively trying to kill them. The world's most dangerous capital city, Caracas, sprawls across a coastal mountain valley where 2.9 million residents endure a murder rate of 111.19 per 100,000 in 2024, translating to 3,223 homicides annually. Violent death here is routine. Armed robberies occur every 12 minutes, kidnappings every 18 minutes. The city's barrios sprawl up mountainsides in shantytowns where police fear to enter and gangs control territory with military-grade weapons. Economic collapse has driven 94% of the population below the poverty line. Hunger drives violence. Medicine doesn't exist in hospitals. Bodies stack in morgues, overwhelmed by murder victims. The wealthy live in fortress compounds behind 4-meter walls topped with electrified wire, while the poor navigate streets where being in the wrong place at the wrong time means execution. Average life expectancy has dropped to 68 years because violent death claims so many before they reach 30. Active war zone masquerading as a capital city. Kabul hosts 4.6 million residents in a valley at 1,790 meters elevation, where suicide bombings, improvised explosive devices, and targeted assassinations kill 1,500 civilians annually since the Taliban returned to power in 2021. The city has endured 43 years of continuous warfare. Soviet invasion, civil war, Taliban rule, American occupation, Taliban return. Creating infrastructure collapse where 70% lack access to clean water and sewage flows in open channels, through residential areas. Unexploded ordnance litters vacant lots, killing children who mistake bomblets for toys. Checkpoints divide the city into sectors where wrong identity means execution. Women cannot work or attend school above grade 6. Food insecurity affects 90% of households. Winter temperatures drop to -20 degrees Celsius in a city where fuel is unaffordable and frostbite hospitalizes hundreds. The trauma hospital receives 40 blast victims daily, mostly civilians caught in attacks. The most polluted megacity on Earth. Dhaka crams 23 million people into 306 square kilometers, where air pollution reaches PM 2.5 levels of 97.1 micrograms per cubic meter annually. 19 times the WHO safe limit, killing an estimated 15,000 residents yearly from respiratory disease, heart attacks, and lung cancer. Brick kilns surrounding the city burn coal and wood, releasing particulates that create smog so dense visibility drops to 100 meters during winter months. The Buriganga River, flowing through the city, is biologically dead, contaminated with industrial waste, heavy metals, and sewage from 12 million people who lack proper sanitation. Garment factories collapse regularly. The Rana Plaza collapse in 2013 killed 1,134 workers when an 8-story building pancaked during work hours. Traffic kills 15 people daily in accidents where buses, trucks, and rickshaws fight for space on roads designed for 1/10 current traffic. Monsoon flooding submerges 40% of the city annually, drowning dozens. Air quality crisis that kills 12,000 annually. Delhi hosts 33 million people in a metro area where air pollution reaches PM 2.5 levels, exceeding 400 micrograms per cubic meter during winter, 80 times the WHO safe limit, turning the sky brown and reducing visibility to 200 meters. Stubble burning in surrounding agricultural states combines with vehicle emissions from 12 million cars, industrial pollution, and dust to create toxic air that hospitalizes 10,000 weekly for respiratory emergencies. Children develop permanent lung damage by age 10. Life expectancy is reduced by 10 years due to air pollution alone. Schools close when air quality index exceeds 450, a level classified as hazardous. Wearing masks becomes mandatory, but most cannot afford them. The Yamuna River flowing through the city contains fecal coliform bacteria at levels 10,000 times safe limits, yet millions bathe in it for religious rituals. Summer heat waves reach 49 degrees Celsius, killing 200 in 2023 when power grids collapsed. The megacity sinking into its own aquifer. Mexico City hosts 22 million people on a drained lake bed. where excessive groundwater extraction causes subsidence of 40 centimeters annually in some districts. The city has sunk 10 meters since 1900. Buildings tilt at alarming angles, foundations crack, and sewage systems rupture when ground settles unevenly. The Chalco neighborhood sinks 45 centimeters yearly. Homes develop 30-centimeter cracks overnight, and families evacuate when floors buckle. Water mains break daily, releasing 40% of the city's water supply into ground that continues sinking. The metro system requires constant elevation adjustments. Tunnels flood when subsidence creates low points where water pools. The 1985 earthquake killed 10,000 when buildings constructed on unstable ground collapsed. Engineers warn that continued subsidence will make portions of the city uninhabitable by 2050. Yet, population grows and groundwater extraction continues because surface water cannot meet demand. The fastest sinking city on Earth, Jakarta hosts 11.2 million people on a coastal plain, sinking 25 centimeters annually in northern districts where excessive groundwater pumping causes land subsidence so severe that 40% of the city now sits below sea level. The Muara Baru neighborhood has dropped 4 meters since 1970. Sea walls built to hold back the Java Sea are now underwater at high tide. Annual monsoon floods submerge 60% of the city, killing dozens and displacing hundreds of thousands who evacuate to temporary shelters where disease spreads. The Ciliwung River overflows its banks when 400 millimeters of rain falls in 24 hours, a regular occurrence during wet season. Flash floods fill streets in minutes, drowning people trapped in vehicles. The government is abandoning Jakarta, building a new capital in Kalimantan because experts predict northern Jakarta will be permanently submerged by 2050. When sea level rise combines with subsidence to put 95% of North Jakarta underwater. The megacity waiting for the big one. Tokyo's 37.4 million residents live atop the convergence of 4 tectonic plates, where the government estimates a 70% probability of a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake striking within 30 years. The 1923 Great Kanto earthquake killed 142,000 when firestorms consumed wooden buildings across the city. Modern Tokyo is concrete and steel. But simulations predict the next major quake will kill 23,000, collapse 610,000 buildings, and cause $2 trillion in damage when liquefaction turns reclaimed waterfront land into quicksand and elevated highways collapse onto traffic below. The city conducts earthquake drills monthly. Buildings sway on shock absorbers designed to flex during shaking. Emergency supplies are stockpiled in every district. Yet 11 million people commute daily through tunnels that could flood or collapse. The Tokai-Nankai and Nankai Trough megathrust earthquakes, each capable of magnitude 9, could strike simultaneously. The cities straddling the San Andreas Fault. San Francisco's 874,000 residents live along a transform boundary where the Pacific and North American plates slide past each other at 46 millimeters per year, building stress that will release in a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake within decades. The 1906 earthquake killed 3,000 and destroyed 80% of the city when ruptured gas lines ignited fires that burned for 3 days. The 1989 Loma Prieta quake collapsed the Cypress Street Viaduct, killing 42, and demonstrated that elevated freeways built on fill will pancake during shaking. Soft bay mud amplifies seismic waves by factors of 10. Liquefaction will turn Marina District and reclaimed waterfront into quicksand. The Millennium Tower, luxury high-rise, has already sunk 45 centimeters and tilted 43 centimeters due to settling. Its foundation may fail during major shaking. San Francisco International Airport sits on fill that will liquefy, severing the city's main transport hub. Three million people living in the shadow of a supervolcano. Naples sprawls around the Bay of Naples, where 3 million residents inhabit the red zone within 12 kilometers of Mount Vesuvius, a stratovolcano that last erupted in 1944 and killed 26 when lava flows destroyed villages. The 79 AD eruption buried Pompeii and Herculaneum under 6 meters of ash, killing 16,000. Modern Naples has grown to encompass the entire danger zone. Pyroclastic flows from a VEI-4 eruption would reach the city in 8 minutes, traveling at 700 kilometers per hour, with temperatures exceeding 400 degrees Celsius, instantly incinerating everything. Evacuation plans call for removing 700,000 people from the red zone within 72 hours before eruption. Impossible given traffic infrastructure. Volcanic ash would collapse roofs, bury the city, and render the region uninhabitable for decades. The Campi Flegrei caldera, 15 kilometers west, shows signs of unrest. Ground has risen 3 meters since 1950, indicating magma intrusion. The capital surrounded by active volcanoes. Quito's 2.7 million residents live at 2,850 meters elevation in the Andes, where 5 active volcanoes surround the city. Cotopaxi, 60 kilometers south, last erupted in 2015, ejecting ash that closed the airport. Cotopaxi is one of Earth's highest active volcanoes at 5,897 meters. Its summit glacier will melt during the next eruption, creating lahars, mud flows of volcanic debris and meltwater that will race down valleys at 60 kilometers per hour, burying everything to depths of 30 meters. The 1877 eruption sent lahars 100 kilometers, destroying towns and killing thousands. Pichincha volcano looms directly over Quito's western suburbs. Its 1999 eruption covered the city in ash and killed 5, when pyroclastic flows swept down slopes. Antisana Cayambe and Tungurahua volcanoes complete the ring, all showing signs of unrest. Quito sits in a narrow valley. Escape routes are limited. Evacuation of 2.7 million through mountain passes would take weeks. Megacity in the path of Earth's strongest storms. Manila's 14.7 million residents occupy a coastal plain at sea level, where an average of 20 typhoons strike annually. Super Typhoon Haiyan in 2013 killed 6,300 across the Philippines, demonstrating what happens when 315 km/h winds drive 7-meter storm surges into densely populated coastal areas. Manila Bay amplifies storm surge flooding low-lying districts to depths of 3 meters. Informal settlements built on stilts over water collapse when typhoons strike, drowning thousands. The 2009 Typhoon Ketsana dropped 455 millimeters of rain in 24 hours, drowning 464 people trapped in homes as floodwaters rose 6 meters in hours. Inadequate drainage means even moderate storms flood 60% of the metro area. Climate change is intensifying typhoons. Manila now faces annual Category 5 storms that would have been once-per-decade events. Evacuation centers cannot house the 4 million living in flood zones. The American city gambling with geography. New Orleans hosts 369,000 residents in a bowl-shaped depression where 51% of the city sits below sea level. The French Quarter at 0 meters elevation, the lower 9th Ward at 2 meters below. Protected by levees and pumps that must run continuously, or the city floods. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 killed 1,833 when levees failed and 80% of New Orleans submerged under 6 meters of water for weeks. The city is sinking 5 centimeters annually as Mississippi River sediments compact and oil extraction causes subsidence. Sea level rise of 1 meter, projected by 2100, will overtop levees designed for current conditions. The city pumps 100 billion liters of water daily to prevent flooding, but the pumps fail during hurricanes when power grids collapse. Subsidence creates streets that dip below water tables, houses tilt foundations, crack, and sinkholes swallow vehicles. Hurricane Ida in 2021 caused $65 billion in damage. The sinking city, drowning in rising seas. Venice hosts 50,000 residents on 126 islands in a lagoon where the city sinks 1 to 2 millimeters annually, while sea levels rise 3.4 millimeters yearly, combining to put Venice 13 centimeters lower relative to the Adriatic Sea than in 1900. Aqua alta flooding now occurs 100 days per year, submerging St. Mark's Square under 1 meter of water during high tides, amplified by storm surges. The November 2019 flood reached 187 centimeters, the second highest recorded drowning the city under seawater that corroded marble foundations and destroyed Renaissance frescoes worth billions. The Mose flood barrier system, designed to protect Venice, cost $7 billion, but fails during multiple high tides, depleting its 78 retractable barriers faster than they can be reset. Venice is uninhabitable during winter, when weekly flooding forces residents to wade through 50-centimeter deep water, contaminated with sewage. The population has declined 70% since 1950. "20 cities where millions live on the edge of catastrophe." From Caracas, where murder claims 3,223 annually, to Goma, where volcanic eruption is geological certainty. From Dhaka, where 15,000 die yearly from air pollution, to Tokyo, where 23,000 could die in the next earthquake. From New Orleans, sinking below sea level, to Jakarta, dropping 25 centimeters annually into the Java Sea. These aren't theoretical dangers. These are urban realities, where death tolls accumulate daily through violence, pollution, natural disasters, and infrastructure collapse. Some residents stay by choice, most by necessity. Poverty, family ties, employment, and lack of options trap billions in cities that geography, climate, and human systems have marked for destruction. If you're compelled by the intersection of urban density and catastrophic risk, subscribe to Obscura Trails. We're documenting the megacities built on fault lines, floodplains, volcanic slopes, and human powder kegs, where survival is calculated in probabilities and escape is a privilege most cannot afford. Hit the bell to join us as we explore the urban environments where millions gamble with geography daily. Do you live in a high-risk city? Share your experience in the comments. And if you've survived an urban disaster, tell us how. Because understanding these risks is the first step toward demanding the infrastructure, governance, and resources that could save millions of lives. Until next time, stay aware of your surroundings.